Hey guys, what's up? So today's the day that we go and get my car tuned for the turbo. Now, I contacted both my tuner and I contacted JDL who provided me the kit, and they both told me that if I keep the original map sensor in the car that we'll be able to turn the car on and actually drive it to the shop. And as long as we keep it in a low RPM and low throttle, then we should be fine. So we just keep the car out of boost and then we should be able to drive it over there. The one weird thing is we have a check engine light in the car, which isn't weird. We were kind of expecting that because we took the secondary O2 sensor out, but we also have a traction control light on and we can't turn the traction control light off. So we're not really sure what that's about. It might be connected with the check engine light. It might not be. We did a lot of stuff to the car, so we're not really sure, but I'm hoping that it's just connected to the check engine light. It has to do with the sensor. So as far as that, hopefully when we get it tuned, that all will get figured out and all be fixed. But right now, I'm pretty nervous. This whole time while installing the kit, I was excited. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so much fun. And after we finish installing and turn the car on, I'm just like, dang, I'm nervous now, because you never know what can happen. You never know if you messed up somewhere. I don't think we messed up anywhere, but hopefully we'll be able to get the car there safely without any issues. And then once it's there, as long as we get the car there, I think we'll be fine. So we're gonna head out there in a little bit, and yeah, the next time you guys will see me will probably be at the place to get it tuned. What's up guys? So let's talk about what happened at the dyno. So first things first, driving the car there. Kept it very slow, less than 5% throttle, kept it under 2000 RPM. The last time I drove my car that slow was probably when I was breaking in the engine. So if I didn't already mention where I got my car tuned, I went to DBW Motorsports. This is the same place I went last time when I got my headers on my car. Last time I went there, they did a good job. So I went back there again and they did a good job again today. Yeah, highly recommend that place if you guys are in the Georgia area. Ever need anything done to your car, tune, install anything, highly recommend going there. The guy there, Doug, he basically does everything you need him. Shoot him a message on Facebook or anything, he'll let you know. Set up a time, he got you. So let's talk about some of the issues we ran into. We had Doug look at the car, make sure everything me and my dad did was right. So he set the car up on the dyno, trying to set up the car before he starts, you know, pushing it, giving it a bass tune and all that. While we and my dad were waiting there, we were waiting there for a while. It was maybe like 30-40 minutes we were waiting there. He hadn't even started the tuning process yet, and we were like, this is taking a while, like something's wrong. And then he kept like opening up the hood and checking the engine bay. My dad and I were like, okay, maybe we did something wrong. Maybe we messed up a wire or a pipe or something. You know, we weren't sure what was going on. A little bit later, he came back out and he actually let us know that there was actually an issue. It was actually an issue with one of the components JDL gave us. We were given a MAF extender to connect the MAF sensor into the original plug-in. The issue was with that extender, one of the wires were actually switched. There's like 5 wires in that extender. 2 of the wires were switched. So let's say the wire is supposed to be red, blue, white. The wire was actually blue, red, white. And when you connected it to the MAF sensor, since those 2 wires were switched, the MAF sensor wasn't able to read anything properly. And we were also very lucky that the wire that wasn't switched wasn't the ground wire, because if the ground wire was switched, it could have caused the fuse in the sensor to go out or something, and then we would have had to buy a whole new MAF sensor. But we were very lucky, and then Doug was able to switch those wires in the correct order, plug it back in, and then after that, everything went smoothly. But yeah, we were really lucky with that. And again, I don't think that's anyone's fault. You know, I don't even think it's JDL's fault. I'm pretty sure they get that sensor from an outside source. In the end, I'm just glad that it was a very minor issue and that we were able to figure out what the issue was. That's actually why I was getting my check engine light. I originally thought, okay, well, we took out the secondary O2 sensor. The secondary O2 sensor in your car is actually used to read in the catalytic converter information, make sure your car's cat is running properly and everything. When I got my unequal link tethers from my car, it didn't have a cat in it, so I tuned my car the first time. He already took care of all that. So that secondary O2 sensor didn't really have anything to do with my check engine light, but the MAF sensor did have to do with that issue, since when we plugged in that new extension, the MAF sensor couldn't read properly, and then it gave us a check engine light. I started tuning the car, I started getting it on the dyno, running it, and then we started getting like some power numbers, and then they're pretty low. So we started getting numbers around like 240, 230 range. Like that's only 30 more, 40 more horsepower than what I have right now. I was thinking, okay, well, maybe this kit adds only like 90, 80 horsepower from the stock motor. So the stock motor of the BRZ usually pushes 170 to the wheel. I was like, doing some calculations, like, all right, that's around that range. Maybe I'm only gonna make, you know, 240, 250 horsepower. Like I was hoping for a lot more power. You know, I just spent all this money on this kit, and you know, I'm only getting 30 more horsepower, 40 more horsepower. And then Doug goes back and then he works some magic. He goes into the hood, he changes a couple of pipes around. He gets back on that dyno. He hits 280 something. It's like 280 something, and I'm like, what did he just do? He just went from 240 to 280 like that. He keeps going, the numbers keep rising. I'm like, all right, he's like 280, 285, and he just keeps going each pull, and I'm like, dang, when is it gonna stop? So in the end, how much power did my car actually make on the dyno? So here's my graph for my dyno tune, and the numbers are down here, and it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but up here it says my horsepower is 287 and my torque is 232. So that was from the final pull that we did, but during one of the pulls we actually hit 290 horsepower, and it was like maybe 235 torque, 234 torque. So I'm gonna just say, for the sake of saying 290 horsepower, because we hit it, 290 horsepower and 232 torque on 7 psi. So I asked Doug about how he went from 240 horsepower to like 280 horsepower, and just like what he did in the engine bay to do that, and he actually did a couple of things. Apparently some of the piping that we had was a little bit too close, so he moved it apart a little bit, and it was creating like turbulence in the intercooler piping, so that was causing it to lose a little bit of power. The tube that went from the wastegate straight into the turbo, he actually moved that tube and put it straight into one of the intercooler pipings, and he said that actually helped the car make more boost, because for some reason when the pipe was going straight into the turbo, it just wasn't making enough boost as he wanted it to. So when he changed that, the car just came to life and it went straight up to 280 horsepower just like that, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I really wish I recorded my first initial reaction to driving my car, like when we first got it out and then went home. I was lost for words. I was so happy. But I am making a video of my first initial reactions of driving my boosted BRZ. So here's a little sneak peek of that video. Oh shit, man. Before I head on to this video, guys, I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, my dad and I, we didn't know how to install a turbo, and in the end we were able to do it correctly, you know, get it there and everything's smooth right now. I just want to say, it just goes to show you guys that if you have the patience and the time and the willingness to learn, you know, you can really do anything you set your mind to. So if any of you guys are ever thinking about doing this yourself, I would say go for it. If you have the time and the patience and the tools, you definitely need the tools. But I'm not going to say it's easy. It's going to take some work and some time. This is definitely possible to do on your own or with a friend, and you know, you can save yourself a couple $100 by installing it yourself. I hope you enjoyed the dyno tune and everything. I know I did. If you guys like this video, don't forget to that like button, and if you guys want to see more content about this, subscribe to the channel. I'm definitely going to be posting a lot more videos of my car and my turbo, reviewing it. I'm probably going to have like a whole bunch of videos on the way because I have so many ideas of what to do. Let me know what you guys think about my car, about how much I made. If you guys think it's a lot or little, I think it's a pretty good amount. I'm very happy with it. I think it's like just enough. It's not like too much power to where I'm scared it's gonna blow, and it's not too little power where it's not fun. Yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.